Hey everybody, this is Elijah,
And this is Pop.
and we're about to compete in some feats of strength. But no, seriously, this is an episode of the Heavyset podcast.
Oh, I don't like this. Me being the centerpiece of this.
Just imagine what it looks like. People driving around.
Yeah, look at my neighbors.
Your neighbors are looking at us.
Oh man!
Everybody's watching us.
Welcome back to the Heavyset podcast, everybody.
We are. What is this? What are we calling this? A day in the life, a vlog, if you will.
I don't know. A Heavyset adventure. Not much of a venture.
How embarrassed are you that people are staring at us?
Oh,
Someone driving by.
I'm really
Please don't
embarrassed.
turn down this road.
I'm really embarrassed.
Oh, dude, I'm already sweaty.
Oh man, it's hot out here.
Elijah Blake. Today we got our nephew/son with us. Tell the people something.
It's hot out here. Really, really hot.
Is it hot?
So we thought we would, I'm already out of breath. So, Elijah, what have you been up to here lately?
I've been playing basketball. I went to Harding and had a basketball camp. Pretty much it.
How'd that camp go for you?
Went pretty good. I was very tired though.
Look, it's tracking you. You're the star of the show. Get that off my face.
So tell me. So how exhausted are you? Because I look at how I'm holding your hand. Well, how exhausted are you? Because you've been going balls to the wall here for the past weeks.
I'm not as tired as I thought I would be, but not as tired as I used to would have been. But since I've been doing it more often, I'm not as tired as what I would have been.
Chris,
Yeah.
you know what you and your sweatiness makes me think of?
What?
We need to recreate the music video for Danger Zone. Where Kenny Loggins sweaty, tossing and turning in that bed. That could be you.
That is me every single night. Well, you should probably tell people what we got planned today, Justin. Why don't you tell the people what kind of we got in the works?
Why am I telling them? Because you're out of
Because
breath.
I'm out of breath.
Oh my gosh. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for all the people that have liked and commented on we're not going to the track. There's a ton of people there. Want to walk up the hill, Chris?
Heck no, I'm not walking up that hill. Take a ride. We're taking a ride.
Anyways, people seem to have liked the video that we did last time, so we're just kind of testing out some things. We're on the move today. I think when we get back to my house, we're gonna grill some Justy burgers and have Dad come over.
Yeah, we're going to get Pop on the video. First
Fine.
time Pop's made an appearance.
And tell our favorite Pop stories.
Because, Father's Day's right around the corner. We love our father. We hope you love your dad, too. And maybe you don't have a dad. And if you don't, we could all be your dad.
We're gonna be your three dads.
What are they doing at the football field?
I'm sure they got either practice or a football game going on. Probably a Pee-wee
What
game.
game is going on in June?
Pee-wee.
Elijah, tell the people what you got planned for this summer.
More basketball and football.
These people watching. I don't even know who this person is.
What's up?
Hey, it was, we know that guy.
Who was that?
That's my basketball coach.
See, we're just bringing people joy left and right.
We're gonna start calling this the Heavy Breathing Podcast.
Yeah.
But hey, we're out here. We're bettering ourselves. You know who's gonna make fun of this? Who cares what people think? So, as I'm holding your hand as we're walking through the town, just so much shadier here.
Hannah's gonna get a kick out of this whenever she sees it.
Someone's coming.
Someone's coming.
Act natural, boys. We're just walking around with a selfie stick. This is kind of heavy holding this like this.
That's why I'm glad you're holding it, not me.
Just hang it right so I don't walk past this old lady.
Do you want to go? Let's go interview her.
No.
Why not?
Nah.
You got to get the people involved, J-Bug.
Okay. You'll get to take this and go interview her.
All sweaty. So what have you been doing?
Hey, ma'am. Would you like an interview for this podcast?
Oh, so what do y'all boys? How do y'all feel about doing videos like this?
I don't know. It is better, so more people can watch it on YouTube and stuff.
Getting chased
Getting
by a
barked
dog.
at. We're going to get attacked by some dogs.
This thing's going crazy now.
Yeah, and listen, it's not going to be just this. We got better video ideas, but we're broke. We didn't know what else to do today.
Needed a quick, easy video. It wasn't so easy once we got out here in the sun.
Now everybody can see how out of shape I am. I'm dying, boys. I'm dying.
Oh, man. How do you think this is going to turn out for this?
I mean, listen, everything's a work in progress. Everything's a test. I was trying to think of more good, poignant things to say as we were walking. But I ain't got nothing, boys.
All I'm thinking about is trying to get back to the house and to the air conditioning.
I mean, it's been a good week. Had a flat tire. Could not get that freaking thing off. Your dad had to come save my life. I almost called you.
Oh, yeah, it's getting caught on to you now. You're the center of attention, Chris.
Hey, everybody. I want you to soak this in, breathe this in right now. Don't get too close. Take a walk today. Do something that makes you feel good. As long as it's not nothing that's going to hurt you.
Go out there, embarrass yourself in front of your neighbors.
Yeah, do something goofy. Live life. Elijah, what's the message you have for people?
Go out there, make people laugh, and that don't matter what or don't care what you do, just do what you like to do.
Good. This is it, Chris. This is the end of the road.
This is like a vlog. Should I take them with me as I take a shower?
Go for it. Just don't take my camera.
What if that's what it took? What if? Should we all get in a hot tub together?
No.
Like an old-fashioned hot tub stream.
Ugh,
Man, it's hot.
real hot.
It's hotter than a Georgia ball sack.
All right.
Well, everybody, we have finally made it to the cooking portion of whatever the heck this video is. We got old Justy Bug here making his Justy burgers. And by the way, sitting this close to the grill, I am already dripping sweat. So, Justy Bug, tell us a little bit about these burgers and what makes them so special.
Oh, it's just some secret seasoning.
Couple of secret herbs and spices
Yeah.
that we may not need to know the name of. Oh,
Made with love, Chris.
Elijah, it's getting close to Father's Day. You know, it's steadily approaching. So, tell me things that you love about your dad.
He always supports me in everything that I do,
Yeah.
and he loves me.
He's a bit of a rascal sometimes.
He's handsome.
He's pretty handsome. Not as handsome as me, but he's pretty handsome.
Yeah.
So, what are some... You know, we are not very organized people.
Yeah.
We got to get a little bit more organized here. Should we get a close-up shot of the burgers?
You'll have to go do it.
All right, everybody. We're making moves. We got old Justy Bug special here. Let's take a look at that. Look how good those look. Eat your heart out, everybody. I bet you could have a good old-fashioned Justy Burger right now. But where did you learn this recipe? I mean, where did you come up with it at?
Made it up on my own. Nothing really special about it.
Okay. All right. Okay, everybody. As we're waiting on the old Justy Burgers to cook up, Elijah, what is your favorite fast food burger place?
I'd probably be Burger King.
Burger King?
Yeah.
I like Burger King. I want to tell you why. I like that little smoky flavor, the grill flavor that it's got. But they put a lot, and I'll tell you what I love about it. They put a lot of veggies on there, and they're always so cold and good. I like that about it.
I hate vegetables.
You hate vegetables?
Yeah.
How do you eat your burger?
Just cheese and ketchup, or cheese and barbecue sauce.
Your dad is the same way. Your dad growing up, which I'm sure you've heard this 1,000 times, he would eat corn dogs, chicken nuggets, chicken strips, plain and dry cheeseburgers,
Yeah.
and a hot dog. Did you even put anything on your hot dog?
No.
Just a plain hot dog and macaroni and cheese and frozen pizza.
Yeah.
That's like the standard Justy Bug diet.
Yeah.
He just never ventured out and ate anything. But as we, he's broadening his horizons. So, Elijah, what do you want to be when you grow up?
An NBA player.
An NBA player. I think I've asked you that a lot, and that's the
Yeah.
same response. I want to be an NBA player too. Do you think I got what it takes?
If you put in the work,
I think that.
you might
I
be
think
able
those
to.
days are long gone.
Chris, you're like Bill Murray in Space Jam.
What does he say in that movie? He's like, "Come on, just give me one chance. Like one shot's all I got, or all I need." What's your favorite thing about summertime? Or what's your least favorite thing? I know what the least favorite's probably gonna be.
Least favorite is how hot it all is all the time.
Once summer gets here, I sweat at 24. I just took a shower and I'm still sweaty from all this. But what's one thing that you would like to do for a future video idea?
Go to Disney World.
Heavyset goes Disney. Could you imagine? Could you imagine we went to Disney World?
Imagine me walking around Disney with that
Looking goofy with the stupid tripod. Oh, Heavyset goes Disney. I want to get some fishing videos cooked up.
Yeah.
Would you like to be part of that?
Yeah.
Go out there, get the attire. I'm not a good fisherman.
Me neither.
So how's the dating life been for you? Are you still a bachelor?
Yeah.
Like your old uncle?
Yeah.
Just playing out there, playing the field.
Yep.
Is there any girl that you're particularly interested in?
Nope.
Any girl you maybe want to shout out on here?
Nope.
Are you sure?
I'm positive.
Okay, just asking. Oh, let's see. I tell you what, I love to do. I can't wait till Halloween gets here. We don't have to wait till Halloween. How do y'all feel about a good old fashioned ghost hunt?
I would like to do it.
Elijah?
I would do it.
One time, he was like, "Why would you want to do that?" I brought up a ghost hunt to Elijah one time. He's like, "Why would you want to do that?"
Yeah.
You're not into ghosts, Elijah?
I am, but I don't know. Just in the time, I thought he was lying, so I just said no.
You've heard the story about me and him going out before, haven't you?
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. Where are we going to go?
I don't know.
Like, because here's how I feel about it. You could go to a cemetery, but don't you feel like it's a little bit disrespectful? Or is it?
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, we've all done it, but it's like filming a video there.
Yeah.
That's what I think about. And it might not be.
Heavyset with the ghosts.
Heavyset with the ghosts. Oh. Or what I would like to do is actually pick out a legit haunted location and go there and try that out. Do you know of any haunted places?
No.
I want to make you some of my famous crisp burgers. Look at how everybody cooks something. It's like something regular. Like, oh, this is my famous crisp burger.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It's like, this is Chris Dogs.
Crisp dogs. Oh. Could do a video of me trying to swim. They're just fighting for my life.
Like how our idea is you drowning.
I mean, I'm not the best swimmer. I can swim like somewhat, but I'm a horrible swimmer. If I got in a bad situation, my goose would be officially cooked. But anyway, we're just waiting on Pop to get here, and we're gonna talk with Pop a little bit. And I don't know. You got anything else for the people?
No.
Say on to the next.
On to the next.
Flavor. On a scale of 1 to 10, what do you give it?
Give it
A 10. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Heavyset podcast with a special Pop edition. How you doing, Pop?
I'm doing pretty good today.
We only have 2 mics, so whenever we talk, we have to share it with each other. What do you got for the people out there, Pop?
I don't have a lot. Just everybody be good, be safe. On each other. I don't know what to say.
I don't know what to say either, so I just ramble incoherently. Well, J-Bug, what do we got for today?
Today we're gonna tell some of our favorite stories about Pop. Father's Day is right around the corner, so I figure we share some of our memories, and then we can get Dad's reaction about how they may have actually happened.
Well, what's your favorite one? What's some of the ones you want to talk about?
Okay, I've got a few that I can think of, and some of them Dad may not remember so fondly as I do, like when Dad got stung by the wasp. We were outside. It was the kids' birthdays, I think.
Yeah.
Somewhere in there. And Mom and Dad had gotten them a pinata. So we were outside and we're filming them whacking this thing. And Dad's just standing in the background minding his own business. And you just see this wasp just fly in, land on Dad's arm, sting him, and then fly off. And I was like, ah!
The
Me
thing
and Chris are just dying out laughing. because we watched the whole thing. It was like it was in slow motion almost.
That's what made it great, is because it was in slow motion. We could see the wasp. We just didn't say, like, we could have said something. We could have been like, "Hey, watch out!" But no, we just we just sit there and watched it land on him, and it's stuck. And the thing flies up, and Justin goes, "Dad just got stung by a wasp." How did that make you feel, Pop?
It hurt. It would have been nice if you would have warned me.
That's another thing, is that, like, somehow or another, you're always kind of getting the crap end of the stick. Unfortunately, in some of these situations, if we remember the Kenzie Peanut story, which Kenzie was our dog, but Dad would make these homemade peanuts, and we've talked about it before on the podcast, but they would stink to high heaven. The only thing Dad never had to worry about me eating in the house were these stinky nuts. But but he would keep them he had a nut bowl on his counter beside his chair. And of course, one day I walk over there and I see Kenzie, our dog's in the bowl, and she's licking the peanuts and eating some of them. And I'm like, "Hey, get out of there. Like, those are like, you don't need to be in there." But I don't think to throw them away. I'm like, "I'll tell Dad when he gets off work." Well, I don't tell Dad, and also Mom catches the same thing, and she's watching Kenzie eat out of the peanut bowl. That's what she does. Like, no one tells them. Like, no one thinks it's like, "Oh, we file it back, we'll worry about it." And then he comes home and off of a rough day at work, and he's sitting in his chair eating these peanuts, and he's like, "Ugh, these peanuts kind of taste like Kenzie's breath." I'm like, "Oh yeah." I was like, "Don't eat those. The dog's been eating and licking all the salt off of them."
It's nice to warn me.
Oh, by the way, those are disgusting.
What was the flavor of that?
It smelled like dog's breath when I was eating it. But it never dawned on me that she had been eating it. Just kind of like the Twinkies I got out of the cupboard and started eating. And I had to spit it back out and looked at it, and it was green. And then you came in and said, "Oh, by the way, don't eat those Twinkies, or they got mold on them." And I said, "Why didn't you throw them away?"
Because I couldn't throw those Twinkies away because I didn't know if they were all bad. Because they weren't clear. But I didn't know, and I knew that if I threw those Twinkies away, you would think that I would have eat them all.
Twinkies come in clear packages. You knew they were all bad.
No, these weren't, because he couldn't see it either. And that's why he bit into the full green one. What did that taste like?
It was pretty nasty. That's what you think a moldy Twinkie would taste like.
What did you eat?
That's the myth of a Twinkie lasts forever. They don't last forever.
Yeah, these don't. These are chocolate Twinkies too, weren't they?
Oh, they were regular Twinkies, I think.
Didn't you eat something the other day that was rotten?
I don't think so. I can't remember.
What was that? You bit into something the other day and it was musty or something.
What was that? Oh, those. I was going to eat some of those melatonin gummies.
Oh yeah, that's right. We talked about this on the last one.
For a couple of years. They don't last forever either.
The gummies definitely don't last forever. Let's see, what else we got?
I remember. Well, there's a sweet memory about this, and then there's a memory about this that makes me and Ryan seem like real jerks. Dad used to come in and tell us these Ned and Fred stories. You remember these stories?
Yeah, I do remember that.
And me and Ryan thought it was real funny that before you would come in there, we would get toys out of the toy box. It is basically a minefield of action figures around the bed, and you would step on them as you walked in there to do a nice fatherly thing, tell us these stories that you would make up, and you're like, stepping on toys the entire time. You're like, "What's with you boys? Why don't you clean up in there?" And me and Ryan are just dying out laughing because you stepped on our minefield.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
You always loved me, didn't you?
How does it feel to know that your sons were leaving traps for you to walk around so you would hurt yourself?
I would have never thought that of them.
This guy's life isn't hard enough. Let's just make it a little bit. Let's try to break his leg.
I got one memory of us camping, and on the way back, we're getting pretty close to home, and the little heater hose developed a leak in it, and the van started overheating. So I got out and got some water out of the ditch or something anyway. And Justin was pouring the water in the radiator for me. I was like, here, let me see that.
Yeah.
And just says, oh, Dad, I guess I can't pour water, can I?
Yeah. It's just like when you were in the hospital and you asked me to mix your drink and I was stirring your drink up and you're like, no, stir it like this. Like I didn't know how to stir a drink up.
You were going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
He has no patience. Because I remember because Justin's like, apparently I don't know how to pour water.
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
All that story about the van overheating reminded me of when we were gonna go on a camping trip, but we had to haul some stuff off to the dump. Me and Ryan were in the back of your truck, and we were throwing trash out because we thought I don't know what it was. It was a bunch of papers. We thought it was fun to raise them up in the wind and let them go.
Did I make you pick them back up?
Made Ryan pick them back up.
Oh.
He made Ryan walk along the highway and pick them up.
He didn't make you get out and pick him
No,
up.
I was too little, I guess. Or maybe I was like, Ryan did it. It wasn't me. I told him not to.
I remember that same camping trip. We remember those raccoons were there was a bunch of raccoons out there. And they would all just, they weren't afraid to walk up right next to these people who've been feeding them so much. And they were everywhere. I remember Dad's like, we got to tie this trash bag up in a tree. It's like, it's the only way so they won't get into it. So we spent like an hour trying to get it up high up in this tree. And as soon as we zip up that tent, we hear those raccoons crawl up there and knock it right off. And then Dad's like, well, I guess that was for nothing.
Yeah.
And the next day, crap was strewn everywhere.
Yeah, good times.
What do you remember?
Loved our camping trips.
What was your favorite thing about that camping trip?
About that one, I remember us, me and Justin walking to the top of the mountain.
Yeah.
And you and Ryan were supposed to be following us. Anyway, we got to, I don't know where you guys quit at.
We weren't that far up.
But I remember you saying, well, I told Ryan, I'm going to holler. If Dad hears me, we'll keep going. If he don't, we're going to turn around and go back. So when I got back, we were supposed to have like a package of cookies and drinks and stuff. And you and Ryan had ate all the cookies and drank all the drinks while we were gone.
Well, we felt like, or like they're good. They can take care of themselves. They're outdoorsmen. If they get stuck up there, they can live off the land. It's like we'll handle the rations.
I remember walking. Go ahead, Dan.
No, I say you're always thinking about me.
I
Keeping you number one.
I remember walking up there, and it was real foggy. And I remember we got to where we could barely see it, and I turned around. And I took a video of you, and you could hear Dad in the background saying, "Man, Chris looks like he's about to die."
Yeah, you look like you had it.
Hey, it was a rough. I couldn't make it up that mountain. I couldn't make it up the mountain today. You saw how this walk around the block went.
Yeah. Well, that's a long ways up there. Pretty big walk.
Elijah, I know you've been sitting here. What's your favorite pop story?
My favorite story is when we went to the beach and we were walking around taking pictures, and we find this big sandcastle, like this really big, nice looking sandcastle. And Pop's like, "Hey, take my picture next to it, and it'll make it look like I took it or made it." So we took his picture. He's like,
And all your grandma's family thought that I had really made that.
That picture of him is my background photo for my PlayStation profile.
Oh yeah.
And everybody asked me who that. Like, who is that? Like, I know that's not you. That's my dad. He built that sandcastle. So I tell everybody that you built it too.
Yeah.
Do you have any more pop stories?
Let's keep that line alive.
I remember we went out to Shady Lake, and we were getting ready to leave, and we were walking up this hill, and me and Delaney already had walked up it, and it was just Grandma and Pop walking up it. So we were waiting for them, so we just sat down on the bench and watched them walk up it while we ate a bag of chips. And just watched them walk up.
Like I said, you're always thinking about it. Aren't you?
Yeah.
I mean, so I guess it took them a while to get up the hill.
Yeah.
You got any more rustling around in that old think tank of yours?
I don't know. I gotta think. Come back.
We'll come back to you.
Dad, I know on the podcast that we've talked about before how me and Chris found your famous Amos cookies that you had
Yeah.
hid from us. How do you remember that?
I remember that I played music I played drums in a band for about 16 years. And we would play in Hot Springs a lot. But I wouldn't get home till 4 or 5 in the morning. And I always kept some kind of snack that I could just go in and eat real quick, and then I could be ready to go lay down and go to eat. And I went in there. I knew I had those famous Amos chocolate chip cookies. I looked everywhere for them. I was furious. I don't think I ever found them. I was furious. I thought, oh man, I can't believe they ate all those cookies. I think Chris didn't you tell me the next day?
Yeah.
Started asking for them.
Yeah, because me and Justin, because usually we know you hide treats out in there,
Yeah.
and we're a bunch of,
Yeah.
we'll eat everything, so you got to hide it in the Hawthorne household. But we would look high and low. Me and Joe, like whenever y'all would leave, like where's these snacks at? We know they got treats stashed around here somewhere. Like where's the cachet at? And so I remember we found them that you hid them. So me and Josh were like, can you believe he hid these cookies alive? Like we had any right to them
I wonder
whatsoever.
why. I wonder why I had to hide those cookies.
So we were like, we're just gonna. I was like, what should we do? Like, we're not gonna eat them. Like, let's hide them from him. Like the man can't have one thing for himself.
Yeah, I like how Dad just wants a small treat for himself, and we're like, this son of a gun. We'll show him.
We'll teach him a lesson.
I remember your mom would buy those boxes, those little Debbie cupcakes, and they'd be up there, and I'd like, man, I'm gonna eat some of those when I get home. And I'd get the box, it would be empty. But the open end would be pointing towards the back of the cabinet, so you couldn't tell. The closed end was still pointing out, trying to fake everybody out.
The old open box, closed box trick.
Yeah, so that's a little rope-a-dope.
Yeah, the thing is, my kids, they don't even put the box up against the wall like that. They just leave the empty box just sitting there.
Because the thing is, it only buys you so much time. Because, like, D-Day's coming, but you don't know when they're going to find it. So,
You just hope you're not home when it happens.
Because because if you're not the one home, of course, the only benefit of you being the one home is that you can blame the other brother. Like, oh, that was Ryan, or that was Justin's fault. He ate all those with a snicker and an evil grin. But, yeah. But you got to at least leave one in there. Or within the whole thing. I mean, I've left an empty box up there before. But like, I don't know how that got empty. It was like, I don't know what you're talking
That
about.
happens a lot.
What else you got, Chris?
Let me think. What about the old root beer stories?
The old root beer. Anyway, me and Chris decided we were going to make some homemade root beer because my grandfather, when I was a kid, he always made homemade root beer. And it's like a big treat for me and my brother to be able to get a root beer. So me and Chris were talking about it, so we decided we'd try to make some. So we bought the extract and everything we needed. And I was like real careful to try to do everything by the book, like it was supposed to. So we mixed this root beer up, we bottled it, and we let it set to ferment or whatever to get where it had some
Carbonate.
fizz to it, carbonation. So Chris comes in. I hadn't been in there about just 2 or 3 days. And Chris said, "Man, I think that root beer might be ready." I said, "What do you mean?" We put it in some of these 2 liter plastic jugs. He said, "Those jugs feel like they're tight."
They're already carbonated.
Yeah, I said, I don't know. I don't think so. So, well, let's open one up and see. So opened it up. Yeah, it went everywhere, but it smelled. It had a smell like sewer, kind of root beer, sewery root beer. So I'm like, I don't know, Chris. I think there's something wrong with this root beer. I don't ever remember it smelling like this.
I don't ever remember it smelling like crap, but
I said, but why don't you try some and see?
sounds like this time you put the screws to Chris.
So I poured some in a glass. Chris tries. I don't know, Dad. I don't think that tastes right. Well, try a little more and see.
Probably because it smells like a cup of crap is why I don't taste that.
So he tried a little more. So, no, Dad, I think we need. So we started opening them and pouring them out. And Chris looks up and they said, if it has this odor or it does this, do not drink it. It's poisonous. Don't drink this stuff. So, anyway, that was the day I almost killed Chris with some root beer.
But my favorite part about this was that I was doing all this research and drinking this awful. I drank a whole glass of this crap beer for like just because you're thinking like maybe there's something in the fermentation process that's gone wrong or whatever. You know, you're trying to convince yourself that it's still good. You're holding out the hope.
Yeah.
My favorite part was I was like, I got to go make myself puke. So I was in the bathroom like gagging myself trying to throw it all up. I hear Dad in the kitchen because all these bottles are so tight and carbonated. And he keeps on opening them up and poof, poof. It's just there's root beer everywhere. It smells like a sewer in there. And I'm like, you remember Dad's like, I think this has gone bad. I think it's all gone bad. I'm like, clearly. I was like, where did we mess up at? Where did we go wrong with this? Where did we go wrong with
I
it?
don't know. I had to figure that out.
I think it was the type of yeast we were using. Something because we boiled everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
we
it
did
was,
everything like we were supposed to.
and that was
we
our.
made it one time and it turned out.
Yeah, we made it once. It was good.
Yeah, I remember making it in the Rock House when we were younger,
Yeah.
and it turned out good.
Yeah, I was thinking we had done it before and it turned out good.
And that was our final attempt. We've never made it
Yeah,
again after that.
I don't take any more chances on the root beer.
Sounds like an idea for another video.
It would be a good video idea. Pop, do you have any stories about your dad that you can remember?
My dad, he was a good man, but he was raised poor. They didn't have a lot of money, so they either hunted or grew. Everything they ate was grown by them or killed by them or fished. And then he was hardworking. You can't, when you're trying to think of stuff, you can't think of a lot of stuff. But they raised sorghum, and
What's sorghum?
it's like you make molasses out of.
Ooh, I love molasses.
And they did the whole. They had I think he called it a sorghum mill, where they ran the cane through a deal. I think they had a mill or whatever that went around, and they fed the cane into it, and then to get the juice out of it.
Yeah.
And then I think they boiled it off and skimmed it, and then they would jar it up, and that's what they sold to make some of their money. And they were all they were carpenters and farmers and just hardworking people. And my dad was poor, so I guess growing up, if he could, he tried to make everything we used. So he made like a homemade grill out of a washing machine. That's what our grill. That's what our barbecue grill was when I was growing up.
Nothing says redneck like a barbecue washing
Yeah.
machine. So what did it look? How did he do it? I mean, was it just a?
You know, the tub of a washing machine was like what you put your charcoal and stuff in,
Yeah.
and then the base of the washing machine was the stand, and then he'd like put a piece of tin over or something to kind of hold the smoke in. But that was our grill.
Did all the neighborhood kids come over and be like, "Hey, let's barbecue. Let's eat some of
No.
this barbecue
We
washing
had a
machine"?
lot of family get-togethers. So I remember him cooking a lot of ribs.
Why does this taste like a little bit like detergent?
No, wasn't no detergent taste to it. But he had a. We lived in California. Back when I was younger, before we moved back here to Arkansas, and he would have a garden. He didn't have a tiller to till it up. He'd come in every morning and shovel it up with a shovel, and then break it with a hoe. And then he worked hard on it. Then we had a lot of fresh vegetables when I was a kid, and he like. I always said this: if he needed a 50-cent piece to fix something, he wouldn't go buy it. He'd try to make it himself. He'd spend all day to make a 50-cent piece
Oh,
just to
really?
save 50 cents.
I wish I had that type of dedication and
Yeah.
thriftiness.
He was hard. He didn't mind working hard at all. But he was a good man.
I tell you something I remember about Grandpa Hawthorne is I remember going over to his house as a kid and he had all these rabbits. I thought
Yeah.
Grandpa had all these pet rabbits. Little did I know he was butchering them. And we were eating
Yeah,
them.
we were eating them rabbits. Yeah.
That's the same thing I thought too. Because I was like, why are these rabbits like there's different rabbits every time I come over here? They
Yeah,
get
we-
attached to some, and the next thing you know, apparently
You
they're
go
in
in-
hot grease.
You go out there and play with them, and then you realize they were dinner.
Yeah.
I
Play
remember,
with them one day, eat them the next.
yeah,
Yeah, he was. He took me squirrel hunting a lot when I was a kid, and he was an outdoorsman. A lot of fishing trips. He worked nights. He'd come in. He'd hook the boat up, and he'd take us out fishing there at the lake, and most time he just let us fish and took the fish off while we were catching them. And sometimes some of my best memories we would actually camp down there on the lake. And one time we went out, the lake had got down and there were some islands out there. And we decided, well, we haul our stuff out there to the island. So we hauled it all out to the island and camped on the island and fished and cooked. And that was a lot of fun. That was a good memory for me.
Another thing I remembered was, like you said, Grandpa, he'd always grew vegetables and,
Yeah.
provided his meals himself by what he would hunt and gather, whatever. I remember in seventh grade, I told my teacher that Grandpa was a farmer. I thought he was like a farmer because he had, he's growing so much at his house.
Yeah.
That in my mind, oh, Grandpa's a farmer.
Yeah, he always had a big garden.
Remember those catfish you had out there in his pond?
Yeah.
I mean, my favorite thing as a kid, going to Grandpa Hawthorne's house, was we would go up there and see him, and we would walk to the peach trees on the way to the fishing pond, and we'd pick a peach while we're on walking towards the pond and eat it on our way down there. And then I remember going in there, and he'd always tell us to be still. I'll be super still. They won't come up, and he'd get that Folgers coffee can and throw that fish feed out there. And just see them all come up and eat it.
Yeah.
But I remember because I thought he told me if I moved, the fish wouldn't come up. He probably just wanted me to shut up and be still, probably. But I remember thinking after that too. I like you when you're around water, you're gonna be perfectly still and quiet, or the fish won't be around you at all.
Yeah, he had some big catfish in there. I think he finally, the water started getting real low. I think he got them all out of there. Took a net and got them all out. Had a big fish fry.
I remember that big old bamboo stick fishing pole he had. Or was it a cane pole or something like
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, we used those a lot when I was a kid too. We
Oh.
didn't have no fancy rod and reels. We used cane poles.
Was it a cane pole or was it a bamboo stick?
Those cane, whatever you
Cane.
want to call it, bamboo cane.
Is that the same thing?
I think it may be the same thing.
Heck, I don't know. I'm not very outdoorsy. I'm not like Grandpa Hawthorne was.
I remember us cutting them and laying them out in the rafters of the shop, let them dry, where they'd be kind of straight, let them dry out where they get strong.
Dad grew up cutting cane poles and eating washing machine barbecue.
Cutting fire. I also remember, oh yeah, washing machine barbecue was good.
But it sounds good.
I remember we had wood heat when I was young, but we didn't have a chainsaw. So my dad worked at a plywood mill in California, and he would load these, I guess it was reject logs that they rejected for the plywood blocks. Well, he would load up his van with those logs, and he made a set of sawhorses. Anyway, he got a old crosscut saw that him and my grandfather rigged up, put handles on it. My grandfather sharpened it up, and that was he'd bring those logs home, and that was mine and my brother's job was to use that crosscut saw.
Go back and forth.
Cut those logs into firewood. And I remember one day at school that my friend's like, "Man, why are your arms so big?" I was like, "Man, my dad has cut firewood with a crosscut saw." I said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, why don't you come out to the house and you could cut you some up too?" So then I had a couple of my friends out there helping us cut the wood up, kind of like the Tom Sawyer and the whitewash dance or whatever.
Everybody's coming out there trying to get on the
Get
weightlifting
some
program.
muscles.
When you boys are done, I got the most delicious washing machine ribs you've ever had. Oh, thank God we didn't have to do that. I don't tell you, I'm soft. We're way too soft for that type of thing.
Yeah, we had a way different childhood. Dad was doing all this manual labor. We're hiding famous Amos cookies.
Oh,
Yeah.
nobody was asking me why my arms are so big. I know that.
Well, we heated with wood too, but I actually had a chainsaw, so it wasn't quite as bad.
Yeah, I remember us. I mean, I was tiny, but I remember going out there with you when you were cutting wood because I had this little plastic chainsaw,
Oh yeah.
and I would pretend that I was cutting it with you.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. That's just me and you out there at that time because that's before Chris and after Ryan had started school.
Yeah,
So me and you would go out there and cut a load, and just glad nothing ever happened. We was
yeah,
out there, just me and you.
yeah, because I wasn't even in school yet.
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Yeah, he
probably
was
3 or
before
4
he
years
started
old.
school. Yeah, I remember you climbing up on them trees and be working away with that little saw, making a noise.
Trying to help you out.
Yeah, I appreciated it.
I remember walking behind you and mow when I had my little plastic mower.
Yeah.
I'd walk behind you while you were mowing too,
I remember that too.
and my bubbles coming out of it.
Had you what coming out of it?
Bubbles. It was a bubble
Back in the
mower.
good old days.
I thought you said bowls.
Yeah, I was back in the good old days.
Well, Elijah, you have any more stories that you could think of during this time? What you got?
You know those like little like bucket things that we put the plants in and we hung them up in y'all's backyard.
Oh yeah.
I remember the day that we did that,
Excuse me.
and we were like about to hit hang them up. And you're like, Elijah, get ready. We're about to tipsy toppy the crap out of this tipsy toppy.
How many tomatoes I got off that? 0.
The other day, I saw it laying on the ground,
Yeah.
smashed in pieces.
Yeah, it never worked out quite like I thought it was. Thought we were gonna have tomatoes galore.
That's what you told me. Is like, oh, we're going to be having tomato sandwiches coming out of our ears. Well, the thing is, we put this post into the ground too, because I told Dad, even though I don't really know anything about anything, but I was like, I think these posts are a little bit too tall.
Oh, yeah.
And Dad's like, I think it'll be fine. We don't need to go any deeper. Well, these posts are way too tall, and so Dad has to climb a ladder to go get them. I got to get on my tiptoes to even put them on. And I remember we had some Miracle Grow that you had gotten. They're like, I think if you go out there and put this Miracle Grow in, or whatever this juice stuff was, like
Yeah.
they're going to be growing out the wazoo. And then it killed every
Yeah, I
single
know.
one of them. None of them grew.
I mixed it too strong.
Apparently, you can't. There's a such thing as too much Miracle Grow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thought we were gonna have buckets and buckets of tomatoes.
yeah. I thought we were gonna start selling. That was gonna be our next business. Some tipsy toppy tomatoes, whatever you call them. But what else you got, Pop? You got
That's
anything else?
Up to Elijah and Delaney to grow those tomatoes for us.
You gonna grow some tomatoes, Elijah?
No.
Okay, yeah, don't worry about it, Will. Well, it might be a good project for you. You might learn something from that. Something about life, maybe something about love. Or you might not learn anything.
I don't think I'm going to learn anything about love.
I think you can learn about love from growing tomatoes.
I don't know about that.
Hey, Chris.
Yeah.
Since you mentioned Delaney got mentioned, why don't you sing your song to her?
Delaney, come on, Delaney. Come here, Delaney. It's okay. You can come be on camera. Do you want to sing it to her?
Let's do it.
Delaney Grace, how sweet the Oh, well, we just embarrassed her.
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
She'll never be the same.
Delaney, do you have any stories for Pop?
What if you can say it, but you don't have to be on camera? Okay, she's shaking her head. You got anything else, Pop? Anything else you remember? Any embarrassing thing about us kids? Not too embarrassing.
I can't think of a whole lot. Since Ryan is not here, I'll mention something about him, but I remember Ryan always had a stick, a drumstick, or something. And he would constantly, I don't know if it's a nervous thing or what, but when he was a kid, he was constantly on his stick. And be just swinging it around, throwing it around, twizzling it. That's a memory I have of him, though. Just always doing that.
Shout out to old Rye Buns. But I remember you would walk back into his bedroom. Yeah. Even you back there just listening to me, just getting at you with that drumstick.
I remember. I like how we always get off on these Ryan tangents. I remember Ryan showing me the way of the stick. And he had this drumstick, and he's like, you do it like this, and you go, tap, tap, tap. And you do that with his eyes, tap, tap, tap. It's like he was casting a spell on somebody.
I also remember when he was real little, and we had the house we lived in Umpire, we had a well. Of course, the opening was only like that. It wasn't like what you would think of a well, but I I was out there working on my pickup, I think, and I had my tools out there. And I was working, I heard chunk. And I didn't think a lot, and then I heard chunk. And I looked, and Ryan was getting my tools. He walked over to that well, was dropping them down in that well, looking at them. And I got done, I only had about half of my tools left in my toolbox. Ryan had dumped them all down the well.
What'd you say to him?
He was little, he didn't know. It's just a game to him. But didn't make me too happy. They were some pretty good tools he was dumping in there.
I've never heard that story.
He did it.
Oh, well, if you boys got anything else?
I've got one more story about Dad. Dad used to play video games with us until me and Ryan were bamboozling him in college football. Dad was wondering how we were like doing these, like, I don't remember, it was like juke moves or what it was. We were like, if you hit this button, then you'll do these special moves too. But the button we told him was the button to like option the football to like toss it. So Dad would be running out in the middle of the field, and we'd be coming in to tackle him, and he hit that button, and it'd make him fumble the football. Then we would scoop it up and like, run it back. He's like, "What the heck happened?" That was the power move. You must have hit the wrong button. I hit this button.
You thought it was the power move, and so he just fumbled it every time.
Then he realized that we
Bamboozled again.
That we bamboozled him, and he's like, "I ain't ever playing with you boys again." And he didn't.
I showed you.
Yeah.
Oh, good times.
Yeah.
So, anything else?
All I got.
You got anything, Chris?
I can't think of anything at the moment. I know I've got 1,000 of them, but I just can't think.
Yeah.
You got any more, Elijah Blake? Well, we hope everybody's had a great day. We hope you had a great Father's Day. And, Dad, what do you got for the people out there? What's your message to the folks?
Message to the folks. Love everybody. Stay close to your family. And be careful.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Heavyset Podcast. We love you. And don't smoke. All right. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Ha